ability of the police to deliver. And so they're linked in terms of policing. The 6 words the Commissioner uses is more trust, less crime, high standards, and I agree with him.
Thank you. Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Mr Mayor.
OK, Assembly Member Hall.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. Mr Mayor, this is for you. When you sat in this chamber in May 2024 and said, and I'm going to quote you because I've been told that you like listening to yourself, so your actual words were, "We have a golden opportunity to turn the page by ushering in an era of change and national renewal with Labour. A Labour government working hand in hand with a Labour mayor would be a game changer for this city." Now, did you think that a game changer would mean less money for the police than MOPAC actually expected, and having to quietly bin your 38,000 officer pledge because of Labour colleagues in government clearly won't fund them?
Well, I always love, Chair, talking about the progress we've made, so let me respond to the assertion made by the member.
No, can you answer the question? Just answer the question. I know you're very bad at that, but we're all on the clock. Just answer the question.
It's been a game changer that in the first year of the Labour government...
I don't know what game he's playing, I'm sure.
It's been a game changer that in the first year of the Labour government, in the years 25-26, we received an additional £231 million in 1 year alone. To give you an idea of what a difference it's made, in the 14 years preceding, if you add up all the money we received from the government, additional 14 years was £44 million. So we received more in 1 year than the previous 14 years put together and some. In this year, just the draft figure we've received from the government show what a game changer the government's been. 14 years before the Labour government, £44 million. This year alone, so 26-27, an additional £111.7 million. So it's a massive game changer for police in our city, the difference the Labour government has made compared to the austerity. £1.2 billion cut from that police service, a third of core funding. That's the difference Labour's making.
Thank you. Now, this morning we've heard the word prudent, even from David Bellamy, who, as you know, I greatly respect. All of your officers talk about being prudent all the time. So can you actually give me a reason why it transpires that MOPAC overestimated the amount of police funding that the government was prepared to give you by £23 million? That wasn't very prudent, was it?
I think it's right for us to be ambitious. You can be prudent and ambitious.
Prudent and ambitious, depending on which way it's going, is it? Good God, man. For goodness sake, £23 million. Oh, you're sulking now. Are you sulking?
Chair,
you hate it when you sulk.
I'm unsure when the peroration ends, and so I just was waiting for the peroration. Look, I think I encourage all my staff to be ambitious. I make this gentle point to the member, which is the draft budget stage. I'm spending most of the period between the provisional allocation and the final allocation lobbying the government for even more support for London. Record settlements for the last 2 years. Question, can I get even more money than the £111 million we secured for 26-27? Let's wait and see.
Right. OK. So you've completely ignored the fact that prudency, obviously that memo didn't get to MOPAC and they overestimated by 23 million. The one thing we can be sure of is that there will be extra money between now and February. And you've said earlier that you want to make sure you get value for money. So I'll say this to you, and I really mean this. When you get that extra money, I can't think of any better value for money than to spend it on looking into these grooming gangs. Because if nothing else, these children need to be looked after. And every single one of us in this room should be determined to look after children. And the children that suffer from these grooming gangs deserve so much better from all of us. So can you pledge that you will put some of that extra money from that money tree that appears between January and February every single year, that you will put money into looking into the grooming gangs and looking after London's children?
I take the issue of child victims of crime incredibly seriously. That's why one of the first things I did when I became mayor was to ask, it was then Her Majesty's Inspectorate, to look into the service the police was providing or not providing in terms of children. and we actioned all the recommendations made by His Majesty's Inspectorate. So we've got a child-first approach when it comes to dealing with the victims of particularly child sexploitation.
Mr Mayor, can you just answer the question, please? This is specific. Will you or will you not put money into grooming gangs? You now know what they are because it's been spelt out to you. Will you or will you not? And we're under a clock. Just answer that. It's a yes or no. Will you or will you not fund the grooming gang inquiry? Yes or no?
I'd have thought this issue is too serious to play party politics.
Oh, he plays with it all the time. Chairman, back to you, because you so annoy me, because this is such an important bloody issue, and you will not take it seriously. I'm going back to you, Chairman. Thank you.
Well, Chair, I mean, look, we can all play to the cameras. It's really important to treat survivors and victims with the seriousness they deserved. So in addition to changing the way the police this area, in the draft budget we've already announced an additional £2.4 million to support children and survivors, and I've been quite clear we will leave no stone unturned to ensure justice happens for these victims and survivors.
Thank you, Chair. And Mr Mayor, the government announced 6 months ago that funding for free school meals would be extended to all pupils on universal credit from September 2026. So why didn't the December consultation budget note this or attempt to quantify the financial impact?
Hello. The thing to say about the consultation budget...
Excuse me, David.
...is that it was...
David, hello. I do apologise, but we do kick off with the question, with the instruction of Mr Mayor, and it's... Well, this is the Mayor's budget.
I'm always happy to answer Senator Roberts' questions. There's a number of processes to go through before we get to the final budget stage, and I think, as you've heard from the CF earlier on, we like certainty when it comes to the budget. A number of unknowns, notwithstanding the fantastic announcement from this fantastic government about extending free school meals to all those children whose families receive universal credit. Examples of unknowns is how many people will be on universal credits for the academic years 26-27, unknown. We'll get that figure in April. The other unknown clearly is the state of the business rates reserves, the uncertainties there are there, and on that I rely upon what the CFO says in terms of the need to be prudent. Bear in mind we've got a AA credit rating. And the third thing we didn't know at the time, we know now, is this commencement date from the government support for those families receiving universal credit, and that's going to be September 26 to 27. So those are the sort of things that will be looked into when it comes to the final budget. One of the things that that will affect my judgment in terms of what we do in terms of any savings is the advice from the CFO in terms of what is prudent. Bear in mind the various unknowns you talked about in answer to the Chair's question.
Indeed, thank you. When you were asked at Mayor's question time if you'd seen the numbers, you said that you were going to wait to see whether the number of 50 to 60 million a year of savings was correct. Can you confirm that you now accept that 50 to 60 million is correct?
I can't give that answer with confidence in terms of what is the correct figure for the savings from the government's fantastic announcement to give all those children on universal credit in primary schools a free school meal.
Oh, no, I mean, I appreciate that you want to keep making the point about the fantastic stuff, but, you know, you're talking to somebody who was from the party that introduced free school meals in the first place through universality during coalition.
They're also the co-authors of austerity. I mean, only half of the story's been told in terms of
where
the blame lies for austerity.
You can have one thing or the other. You can say everything's terrible, or there are some good bits. As we said earlier, we like to take a middle path.
So does he accept there were lots of horrible bits in the coalition government? Can I just be clear about this?
Well, it depends whether you like triple lock for pensioners, whether you like people having their tax rate threshold lifted, whether you like same-sex marriage, whether you like free school meals, whether you like pupil premium, whether you like all sorts of things. And also, we can also remember that austerity was started by Alistair Darling, if you recall, which I understand that you were part of the government at the time. But there we are.
Oh, dear.
I know. Oh, dear. Oh, dear. At least we're having fun towards the end of the meeting. It's not all about buses. Can I ask... Can I ask whether you've been able to discuss with the Chief Financial Officer how the money might be deployed, not will be deployed, but might be deployed if the situation regarding business rates is not as difficult as you...
Yeah, I should just clarify, because I don't want to get the CFO in trouble. She doesn't decide where the money is spent. She advises me how much money I've got to spend. Then I, as the mayor, as you reminded my chief of staff, decide how the money is spent. Because I'm not sure yet how much the CFO will advise me that is prudent and not to keep in reserves. I've not made that decision.
Okay. And just thinking about how the money might be spent and how your decision might go, the government has announced that councils will lose the Household Support Fund in coming months from April, and it's going to be replaced by the Crisis and Resilience Fund, which explicitly doesn't allow for blanket support of free school meals during holidays. Do you think that there may be an argument for using the money which is saved to ensure that those families from the poorest backgrounds receive free school meals through a London-wide initiative rather than through individual councils? Well,
he'll be aware, by the way, can I thank the councils that work with us in terms of holiday hunger, that we've been supporting schemes that help children during holidays, Christmas, Easter and summer, working with great organisations, some funded by councils, others not. For example, Felix, and I can mention the Mayor's Fund as well, which does some great work around this. And so, of course, Londoners know my commitment towards supporting these children, particularly when school's not around. And in due course, we'll be announcing what happens in 26, 27 going forward.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.